If you could save someone's life, wouldn't you want to be able to do that? Well, tourniquets can save lives, and there's a tourniquet made for EDC carry that I want to tell you guys about. As a father and as someone who cares about the sanctity of human life in general, I want to be able to do whatever I can to save someone's life should I ever be in the position to do so. I've linked a study published by the Journal of the American College of Surgeons that shows that patients with vascular injuries to the arms or legs who didn't receive a pre-hospital tourniquet had an almost 6 times greater odds of death than the patients who did receive a tourniquet pre-hospital. And this is why I personally think that carrying a tourniquet, whether on your person, in a bag, in your car, is something that more people should do. This is probably the most commonly carried tourniquet, the North American Rescue CAT Gen7 tourniquet. And these have been around for a good long time now. And this is the new Snakestaff Systems Generation 2 ETQ tourniquet. And I think this is the better tourniquet for EDC carry, and here is why. This is the CAT Gen7 tourniquet in my jeans pocket, and it's hard to fully convey on video here just like what this looks like, but it's really big, really ridiculous, and I would not carry it. This is the Snakestaff Systems Gen2 tourniquet, and look at that, no problem, plenty of room for my hand, my pocket knife, whatever. I would definitely carry that. Here's some more side-by-side comparison of the tourniquets just to give you guys more visual on the difference in size here. It's pretty substantial. And that's why I think this is the better EDC tourniquet, because you will actually carry it. Even when considering carrying it in a bag, it just takes up so much less room. So these are now the tourniquets that I personally carry and that I have given my wife to carry in her bag for our family. Now, another comparison between these two that is very important to me is the fact that the Snakestaff Systems tourniquet can work on a limb as small as 1 inch in diameter. So this will work for small children, even an animal like a dog with a small circumference leg, as in comparison to the CAT tourniquet, which is only rated for about a 5-inch diameter limb. So for me, being a dad with small kids, having animals, this Snakestaff being able to go down to 1 inch in diameter and be effective at that size of a limb is very important for me. It's another reason why I choose to carry these. The ETQ is actually available in 2 different sizes, the 1 inch wide and the 1.5 inch wide. I personally recommend the 1.5 inch version because that's the generally accepted best width for a tourniquet. But for situations where space is an absolute premium and you're either going to carry one or not based on that, then that's when I would say go with the 1 inch wide version. It also should be noted that this can fit into a pistol magazine slot. So if you have one of those appendix style holsters that has a slot for a magazine, this could go in there and you could carry a tourniquet. So neat option there. They do have sleeves available for these as well, so it helps protect the Velcro from clothing that would snag on the Velcro, or you could also slide it onto a rifle sling or something like that. I'll do a video on those sleeves later. Let's go over some of the features of the ETQ tourniquet. First, I like this nice gate that snaps into place and holds the windlace secure. I like this design. Speaking of the windlace, I like the windlace. I like that it has these flat spots on it that really allow you to get a good positive grip on if your hands were wet or sweaty or bloody. I think that is a nice design touch. Also, they added this thing called the power ring, this metal ring right here, that is supposed to help as you twist the windlace just apply more even pressure to the tourniquet itself. And another thing that I think is good about their design is right on the band they have printed instructions. So if someone who doesn't know how to use a tourniquet has to use one, they can read this. Please place high on limb between wound and heart. Pull this strap as tight as possible, then fasten. Twist rod until bleeding stops, lock bar in clip. And then there's a space for writing the time of when you applied the tourniquet, which is important. And there's a QR code that someone can scan and actually get instructions on how to use it if they need to do that. So I like that they added the instructions right on the strap itself. But can you apply it one-handed? I'm not even a pro at this, guys, so let's try it. Not gonna touch it with my left hand. Just gonna fling it open, put it around my arm, grab the tab, pull that nice and tight, and I'm not going to actually cut off my circulation, but I'm going to turn the windlace once. Yeah, no problem, one-handed. Now here is some important information on how to use a tourniquet properly. Place the tourniquet 2 to 3 inches above the wound and ensure that it is on the limb between the wound and the heart. Avoid placing the tourniquet directly on a joint like an elbow or a knee. If the wound is directly below a joint, place the tourniquet above the joint. I've also linked a great video from the Prep Medic channel where he talks about how to use a tourniquet and further information on stopping things like massive hemorrhages. Definitely a good channel. I recommend you check it out. I also like the Skinny Medic channel for medical information. Check him out as well. And guys, I post new gear videos every single week, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on them. And as always, thank y'all for watching Texas Gear Guy.